Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Youth Culture. Today, we're gonna be playing a game of charades. You see, we got this giant spin the wheel, this big old gold trophy, and these cards laid out. But before we begin, what do you got for us, Mia?
So on team 1, we have Brett and Reese, and team 2 is Carson and I.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll spin the wheel, we'll pick up the respected category, we'll figure out what we're acting out, then we'll start the timer. Each team, we'll go a couple times, and we'll see who can guess it right or not guess it right. And whoever gets the most points wins the trophy. But do you want to explain the points?
Yeah, so if you win, you and your team, you get 1 point. But if your team fails to get the answer right, the other team can steal and get 2 points. So we'll play 3 rounds in total, and whoever wins gets the golden trophy. Yeah. I mean, even look at this thing, man. This thing is
Sturdy.
This is kind of heavy.
Oh man,
is this real
shiny?
gold?
Yo, it's shiny. I think so.
That's
Carson,
what
that might
be.
be ours.
It might be. Yeah, it might be ours in about 10 minutes. But we won't get too much into it. Yeah, you guys go for it. Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna start us off.
All right, spin that wheel.
Let's go.
All right. Oh, I just got a cramp in my leg.
I'm going TV show.
You got a cramp in your leg, dude.
Big spin.
Yo, that was a good spin.
Banana.
I'm pretty confident about my acting. I'm hoping I get famous people. I think that's what it's gonna be.
Come on.
All right.
Dang,
That was a good spin.
long spin.
I said TV shows.
Then he did sports,
Movies, famous
Jobs.
Jobs.
All right.
Dude,
All right, you
It's
got jobs.
Okay. Now I'm stoked about that. Let's see.
All right.
Okay.
Pay attention, Mia, because we gotta figure it out.
Oh, how do I act that out? Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. What are you doing?
That is.
What kind of acting is this?
Is this lotion?
Oh, he's spreading.
Lotion. Time. Ring.
Is this?
What?
You have 10 seconds, by the way.
Dude, is this?
Mia, do you know what it is?
1, 2, 3.
Good job.
You're counting.
I know it is.
Banker.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. That was it.
Let's go.
That was it.
All right.
That's right.
All right.
That's 1 point for us.
That's 1 point for us. I think. Mia or no, Carson, you go. All
right, I'll go.
Opposite team, opposite couch.
Strong lead.
Here we go.
All right, Carson, you got it. Good spin.
That was a horrible spin. I'm not gonna lie. Give me. Not jobs.
Jobs again.
Jobs?
Yo.
Jobs?
All right.
Got
I'll do a
jobs,
job.
bro.
Let's see.
Let's see the timer.
You
Okay,
better
timer
act
hasn't started
good.
yet.
Okay, ready? Go.
Talking. Talk.
You were
Okay.
you were a way better actor. Than
Okay,
I was.
you're an actor.
That's what it is. Boom. She got it.
What?
You guys weren't even paying attention.
No, what?
No.
Bro,
Right here.
it's 7
Boom.
seconds
Seven
now.
sec-
All right, we got it. All right, it's tied up. Going into round 2. Brett, I think it's your turn. Yeah. That was a great spin.
Wow,
Quick
that
spin.
was a horrible spin.
Sports?
Okay.
Yo, I'm not-
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not.
I heard
I
you,
don't know anything about sports, bro.
Dude, you'll do great.
Yo, okay,
Brett, I heard you
okay.
played left bench back in high school. Is that right? Or-
Ah, funny. Actually leading Saxon Kinko.
Oh, yes, yes, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you will get this one. Are we ready?
Here we go.
Okay.
Mia, pay attention.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, am I guessing like what type of sport it is?
Guess the sport, Reese.
Kickball.
What?
Bro. Reese, come on.
Soccer.
Yes.
Yo,
Okay,
let's
let's
go.
go.
Let's go.
Kickball.
All right.
Kickball, bro. This is
easy.
the first
Mia's up.
option.
Okay, yeah,
Yo,
my turn, my
hey, it's
turn.
2-1 now.
2-1, but Mia has a chance to tie it back up.
Okay.
Boom,
All
boom,
right.
boom,
What
boom.
is it? Animals?
Animals.
Yo.
Damn,
Okay,
this is
okay.
gonna be fun. This is big. This is the tie it up.
Let's go.
Okay, this is easy.
Cat.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's it.
2 seconds. By the way, can we zoom in on 2 seconds? By the way.
No,
All right.
hey, no, I'm up.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's
All right,
my turn.
no,
It's my
okay.
turn.
all right.
Thank
This is
you.
the final round. It's
Getting
2-2. Reese,
Okay.
we gotta do it out.
Nah, this, bro. Give me TV shows. Oh, famous people.
people.
I mean, I'll take that.
Let's
one.
go.
I'll take
We can
it.
do that.
Yo, we gotta get this done quick.
Wait,
Come on.
if we get this
Third
point, do we win?
I think so, right?
No.
No, I get a
one
redemption.
more
I get a
round,
redemption.
one
I get a
more.
redemption.
Yo, what? Bro, hold up, hold up.
Come on.
Yo, no,
Start the
you got this,
timer.
bro.
Start the timer.
Okay.
Oh, you're not getting this, bro.
Okay, you.
Whoa,
Yeah,
are you
this is
saying
you.
stuff?
Cat.
What?
Riz,
Is he-
rapper.
The Rizzler.
Wrist?
You. Me. Tell you one time. Is this Justin Bieber? I'm gonna tell you one time.
Reese, what are you doing?
Is this Reese? Who is this, bro?
You keep pointing at yourself. Who? I need some more. Pants.
This is horrible. 5 seconds.
Reese, come on. We're gonna lose the game, Reese. I
Come
need
on.
better.
2, 1.
I don't know who
no
this
more
is.
guesses. Do you have a
Bro,
guess?
it's myself, Reese Spear. Oh, Oh shoot, you were supposed to.
Wow, bro, just sit down. We're gonna win it right now. We're gonna win it. Sit down, bro. We're gonna win it right now.
Okay.
All right,
It was
here we go.
yourself?
Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
I'm
are you
not even
famous?
famous, so like,
Why
I don't
are
know
you
what's
in
it.
there?
No,
I
he's
don't know.
famous.
Did you
I
put
don't know.
yourself in there?
TV shows.
Okay,
I don't
TV
watch many
shows.
TV shows, but all right, here we go.
It costs us the game.
All right, hold on. Let me think. Hold on.
Okay, you got it.
All right, here we go.
The Office.
No.
What? Oh, Dora the Explorer.
Boom. Back baby.
Wait, did we get a redemption?
No, bro, that was your redemption. Last round was your
Oh,
redemption.
sorry.
We walked it off.
That's it.
Sorry.
They win.
We are the champions. You got anything to
That
say?
was it.
You got anything
Oh,
to
yeah.
say?
I just want to thank my acting
No, we can't go
skills,
again.
my guessing skills, you know.
Let's thank Reese and Brett for absolutely selling the
Yeah.
bag.
Dude, we were doing great.
It's a household game, and you can't do anything with
put
it.
his
Had it in the
Famous
bag. You had it in
person.
the
Honestly,
You wanna touch
had
it?
in
Reese,
the bag.
you can't touch it, but you can send this to the culture couch. How about that? How about look at that right there?
All right, hey, let's go to the culture
I
couch.
wanna
All right,
read it.
Cool, let's do it.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to Culture Couch. And man, I thought I was gonna win that charades game. Like, I thought my acting was like pretty good.
Pretty
No.
horrible.
Yo,
Pretty bad.
I thought the trash man one.
I think we got one in like
thought that was
in
good.
like 0.2 seconds. It was a record actually.
That was
They're putting it
actually
in the
crazy.
record books right now as we speak.
Carson actually did. I'm not gonna lie, he did pretty well. His acting is like actually,
You know,
Well,
and his guessing games.
He is a famous actor, if you didn't know.
I'm the height of one. That's for sure.
Yo, that's
I'm
fun.
not an
It was a
actor,
fun
but-
game though. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Bryce.
It was good to see you all. Good to see you all. You just sparked something in my mind. Speaking of Carson's acting skills, I wanted to ask you guys a question about that. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah? All right. The question is, has there ever been a time in your life where the influence of maybe people around you or the environment around you or maybe even circumstances has influenced how you act?
Oh, damn,
I mean,
that kinda,
it's literally
changed
every
the
day of
way-
my life.
It seems like it. Yeah, I mean,
that was high school for.
I mean, being around you guys, I really got to put a crazy front up on. No, I think most of high school, I think Reese can relate. We went to the same high school, but
We did.
yeah, I think we had to put up a lot of like fronts and a lot of masks when we went to high school, and just kind of get through it. To be honest, sometimes
Yeah.
you just can't act yourself, unfortunately. If you want to like fit in sometimes, which is not how you should act, but it's just the way of the world and the way of high school.
It's honestly it's hard when you go to a new school too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this high school we went to, we jumped in like middle of high school.
Yeah,
And so like
junior year.
yeah, for me it was 10th grade.
Yeah, sophomore.
It's like kind of hard to be your true self when you go to a new place, a new environment, you know?
Yeah.
I relate to that.
But
I feel-
sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, in some situations.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, what I think of when Bryce said that is like when my first time ever going to a skate park, like I show up, like all these skaters are like hitting like these crazy tricks, like going into the bowl. I'm like, bro, like I'm just trying to learn, you know? And so like I like pretend like all confident, and, like drop into the bowl and just like absolutely eat it, you
just
know?
Spill everywhere.
Yeah. So sometimes like that faking it till you make it like can get you hurt.
Yeah,
You know?
it can
That's
definitely,
true.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can.
Grace, you're in high school right now.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, I feel like middle school was rough for me. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't a day where I was myself, which sucks. But I was just like trying. I would do anything to fit in. Like I never wanted to stand out in any way, shape, or form. I just was like in my little bubble and didn't want to leave it. I feel like high school is better. But I also think I grew up a pastor's kid my whole life. I know like Reese did too, so you can probably relate. But like,
Yeah, not me. Not me.
but like, there's such a pressure to be perfect and like
That's so real.
to like.
That's true.
There's just like an image that people have about you that you're just like the perfect, sweetest, like little girl. And that's not, I'm a very like outspoken, like I just kind of say what's on my mind type of person. So I feel like there was a lot of times where I had to just like sit back and pretend like I was like this sweet little girl when that really wasn't what I was ever.
Yeah.
And I think once we moved out of kind of like the traditional church setting, it got a little bit better, but there's still so many days where I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, to add on to that, I feel like, cause like church, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of my friends at church and stuff we're always happy to see each other. I'm always happy to see them, you
Yeah.
know? But I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes I have bad days and I gotta go to church and I kind of switch up my mood just like, cause I don't want people knowing like what I was going
Yeah.
through. But to be honest, like we don't really need to like do that like when you're going to church. Like church is like your community, it's your friends, your family. Like that's a place you can be real.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I feel like that's something I need to work on. Is like church, like just being myself. If I'm having a bad day, I can like tell someone, you know, they'll pray for me, you know, or something like that.
It's a balance for sure.
Yeah. That's a good question, Bryce.
Yeah.
Hey, those are some good answers. Y'all are some wise people, but it's real. I feel like I could relate to a lot of what you were saying. And shifting a little bit, in the Bible, Jesus refers to us as sheep sometimes. What are some funny things about sheep that actually may have some kind of truth to it when you think about who we are, or how we operate in our own lives?
Yo, that's like, that makes me laugh right now. Because like, it reminds me of the story of the Good Shepherd, the parable of the Good Shepherd, John 10. I'm actually, spoiler, I'm going to be talking about that a little later today in this episode.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so John 10, it talks about Jesus being the Good Shepherd, and he compares us to sheep. I'm like, like, Jesus really calling us sheep right now? Like, what you mean by that? But it's like so true though, because like sheep, if you think about it, like, I don't know much, but I don't think they're that smart. Like, are they?
I don't think so. I think
They're just kind of there.
They follow the herd,
Yeah.
so they kind of just like, they're like whatever the opposite of a trendsetter is.
Yeah, so like they
Follower.
need someone to like lead them. I feel like there's times in our life where we need to be led, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know any other fun facts though.
Fun fact about a sheep?
Yeah.
I don't know, Grace.
You can count them while you're
Yeah,
if
you
you're trying
can't
to go
count
to
them when you're
sleep.
sleeping. You go one.
I feel like
tried
when I
that,
was a kid,
actually.
I would always get so scared, and then I'd go into my mom's room and she'd be like, "Just count sheep," and I'd be like, "All right."
Yeah. No, I used to
funny.
have sheep like wool socks when I was like younger. So
Really, man,
that's pretty great.
You should wear those next time.
I will.
I want to see them.
Yeah, I'll bring them back. They might not fit over my feet, but we'll make it work.
You know anything about sheep, Bryce?
I know a lot about sheep. I actually,
Of course, Bryce knows a whole
I
bunch
actually
about sheep.
studied animal science. I know way more
Yo.
than you want to know. But I do have a question for each of you. Can you each provide us with one example of a moment when God clearly spoke to you, and maybe provide, if you're comfortable, what He told you?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to figure out like
It's-
a specific moment.
It's so hard. Like, there's rarely a lot of times where I feel like God is like so clearly speaking to me. I feel like most of the time when He speaks to me, I'm like overthinking and be like, was that actually God? Like, was it? But one time I was at a church conference and I was just going through the time, it was a few years ago, where I just felt like no one wants to be around me. I felt like super insecure, like who I was. And I was just kind of like sitting there. It was during worship, and I just felt like God told me that I was loved. And there's people in my life who told me that I was loved, but it's so different when it comes from God, because you know
That's
it's
real.
true. And like, I don't know if you've ever like felt like God's speaking to you. It's just like the craziest
Definitely.
feeling ever. And like, I just started weeping, and it was like, yeah, no, that's
Yo.
the time for me.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. No, that's cool. I feel like for me, a time God was like speaking super clearly. Well, let me say this first. Like, there's so many different like voices that are trying to like distract us from God's voice in today's world, like social media, or like just like the culture of what success is. But I feel like in this specific moment in my life though, like it was so clear like what God was trying to tell me. I don't think I've ever told you this story, bro, but it was at our high school. Yeah, it's
Trouble.
it's a deep
Trouble.
it's a
Last
deep
time you
story.
told me a story did not end well. So
So it was during lunch, and this is
Classic.
like, this was when I first started going to our high school. So I didn't really know anybody. I'm like, bro, I don't really know what to do. At our high school, we had like this mountain with a cross on top of it. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go like go up on top of the mountain like during lunch and like check out this cross people been talking about.
the beast.
Yeah, oh, that's what it was called.
the
It was called the
Beast,
Beast.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I climb up this mountain during lunch, and I get up there, and there's just this huge like giant cross, and it's just like hovering like over our school and over like the whole city. You were able to see like just like miles and miles of just like our whole city that our high school is in.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be straight up, when I saw the cross, like I actually fell on my knees and started like crying. It kind of sounds crazy, kind of sounds weird,
like a movie.
but it felt like a movie. I see the cross and I just start crying, and then I started praying. I'm like, God, like, I know you have me at this school for a reason, Lord. I ask that you would show me why I'm here at this high school, God. And I ask that you would speak to me and give me opportunities to be a leader in this school. And then I got up, bro, and went to class. And then nothing really happened much like years later, but this was in 10th grade. 3 years later, my senior year of high school, we were at graduation, and I got the opportunity to pray at graduation for our whole high school.
It was so good.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, it was the Lord, you know.
I was lucky to be there, by the way. It was so good.
It was just like so crazy to like see that full circle kind of moment. Like I was praying on top of the mountain for our school, for our city, not really knowing anyone at this school. 3 years later, knowing like these people, knowing these students, and I got to pray for them and for a blessing over their future. And so I just felt like in that moment, God was just calling me to just like be here for other people my age, you know, and just to like be a leader and point them towards Christ.
Yeah.
Kind of a long story, but
That was great.
It's a good little story. To be honest, I don't know how I'm gonna top that, but I'll make mine quick. But I mean, there was a time, it was last year. We came off my junior year. We came off a season in which we had a pretty toxic group on our baseball team, and
that's the worst.
it was just it was bad, and it was just it wasn't encouraging at all. And then we came into our senior year, and it was unspoken. We were kind of like, all of us, we rallied together, and like, so we go to a Christian school at the time, so we kind of rallied together, and we were like, we're not even doing this for the success of the baseball team, or trying to personal accolades or anything like that. But it ended up being using that unspoken kind of vibe. We ended up going to the championship game. We lost the game. We lost the game, but honestly, it was more like, in a way, it was more poetic, because it was kind of like a staple in which was like, this is never ever once about winning, or it was never once about like what happened on the field. Great things happened on the field, but it was more so about the integrity and kind of the impact we made on the kids who were younger, the freshmen, the sophomore, but also on ourselves. And we proved it to ourselves, and it was emotional. We all cried at the end of the game. It was close and everything, and we were working so hard and whatnot. But I think it was more or less of it wasn't so much disappointment, but more of like a satisfaction of like, dang, we really did that. It was hard to kind of process. Like, man, we really went through 6-7 years long journey of flipping this thing around. It wasn't even us doing it. It was kind of him doing it.
Yeah.
It just so happened that it was kind of laid out on a baseball field. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's my little story.
So would you say like God, like it started off a little toxic, but then at that championship
super toxic, and there was times where we butt heads and things didn't always go our way, and we lost a game, and I made mistakes and people around me made mistakes and whatnot, but ultimately it was, as you couldn't have written it better. God things
really
we didn't talk about it. None of us talked about, oh, we want it this way. It just became that way. So
that's so cool.
That's cool, man.
It was a cool time. But yeah,
that's fire.
Appreciate you all sharing. That's some good stuff. And Reese, I heard your prayer at your graduation, and I never knew the backstory. And that's even more beautiful. So appreciate you sharing that, bro. And Reese, why don't you take it away and just continue closing this conversation?
Yeah, I think Reese has a sermon for us.
Yeah,
so.
see you guys there.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, guys? Man, that was such a great and fun conversation we had on the Culture Couch. I loved how we talked about why Jesus compares us to sheep, and moments of and examples of when we clearly heard God's voice, which is a little bit of what we're going to be talking about today. But before we jump into it, I have to ask you guys this question. Have you ever noticed how we naturally recognize the voices of the people closest to us? Whether it's a friend calling your name in a crowd or a family member on the phone, you don't have to guess, you just know it's their voice. And that's because you spent so much time with that person that their voice is super familiar. In John 10, verses 1 through 18, Jesus uses this idea to describe our relationship with him. He says he is the good shepherd and his sheep know his voice and follow him. But he also warns that there are other voices competing for our attention who don't actually care for us. Today, I feel like those voices competing for our attention is social media, saying you need to look like this or act like this. Or even culture's definition of success, saying your worth comes from your achievements. You see, there's a danger of listening to these voices, and it can make you think and make you believe that your identity is in what you do, not in who God says you are. The world, it says to chase whatever feels good, and that could be through partying, relationships, or even entertainment. But all of that, it just leads to temporary satisfaction and long-term emptiness. And so today, we're gonna see that Jesus is the only way to real life, and that he knows and cares for his people and calls us to trust and follow him. And so, like I was saying, in the passage of John 10, verses 1 through 18, Jesus, he uses the picture of a shepherd and his sheep to explain who he is and what he came to do. He describes how a true shepherd enters through the gate while thieves and robbers try to sneak in another way. And the sheep, they recognize their shepherd's voice and follow him, but they won't follow a stranger. Jesus then reveals that he is both the gate and the good shepherd. And when I saw this, that Jesus was comparing himself to a gate, I kind of got confused for a second. But if you think about it, what does a gate do? A gate, it lets you into a safe place, and when you close it, it's protecting you from whatever is outside. So the gate, Jesus is saying he is the only way to salvation. Those who enter through him will be saved and experience abundant life, meaning a life of peace, a life of purpose, and close relationship with God. You see, me personally, I want to live that kind of life. And then God, he says, or Jesus, he says he is the good shepherd. Well, let's think about that for a second. What does a good shepherd do? You see, a shepherd, it guides its flock, protects, provides, and whenever a sheep gets lost, a good shepherd will drop everything to go and rescue that lost sheep. Jesus, he's saying he is the good shepherd. He truly knows his sheep, cares for them, and even lays down his life to protect them. You see, Jesus, he is fully committed to his sheep. He doesn't abandon them. Instead, he lays down his life for them willingly, showing his deep love and sacrifice. But after reading this, I'm like, okay, Jesus, he's the gate. Jesus is the good shepherd. But who are these sheep he's talking about? Because I know there ain't no way Jesus is really comparing me to a sheep right now. But honestly, I don't think there's any better illustration to compare us to. Just like a sheep needs guidance and protection from its shepherd, I also need guidance from God. And I need the Lord's protection because like it says in John 10, verse 10, the thief, the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. You see that the thing that sucks about the enemy is that he is a deceiver, and the enemy is going to try and pull you away from your friends, your church, your youth group, and even the Lord. But those lies the devil is telling, those voices competing for your attention, can be shut off if we could just lean into what Jesus is sharing in this passage of John 10. And that leads us to point number 1. Jesus is the only way to life. Jesus says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. He makes it clear that true life, both now and forever, can only be found in him. No other path leads to salvation. And then point number 2 of today, Jesus knows, loves, and protects his people. He says, I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. Jesus isn't distant. He personally knows and cares for those who follow him. And he proves his love by laying down his life for his sheep. And then point number 3 that I want you guys to remember, Jesus calls us to trust and follow him. His sheep recognize his voice and follow him. He invites people from every nation into his flock, showing that anyone who listens to his voice and follows him can be led by him. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I want to be led by a God, a king, a good shepherd that will give me purpose and joy. But I know that it isn't easy to hear God's voice sometimes. And there's seasons in our life where it just feels like a dry desert, a season where everything just feels like a routine. And it's confusing because you see, like, I'm going to church every week. I'm going to youth group with my friends. I'm praying every day. Or maybe you're not doing that. Maybe that's why you're struggling to hear God's voice. You see, not too long ago, I was going through a dry season, and a close friend said to me, well, when was the last time you shared the good news with someone? When was the last time you told somebody of the good things God has done in your life? And I realized that it's been a minute since I've done that. So I want to encourage you today to go share your faith with someone, even if it's a friend that already knows you believe in God, because doing that reminds you that Jesus is truly a good shepherd. And yes, spending time with Jesus will help you to recognize his voice more often. But when you are telling people about how Jesus has saved you, it takes recognizing his voice to a whole nother level. The more we seek Jesus, the clearer his voice becomes in our lives. So whose voice are you following? What voices do you need to stop listening to today? Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was super fun, but I'll see you guys next time. Peace.